Hello friends, thought he was really smart as a child because he knew Santa Claus wasn't real here, bringing you another Dota 2 video in which we're going to be talking about 3 current item trends or tricks that are incredibly broken, and if you want to very quickly get out of your bracket, then this is an absolutely easy way to do it by just incorporating these new trends that pro players are doing. So the first trick that I want to show you is disassembling Echo Saber into a surprise Orchid to basically catch the enemy team off guard. So next, I want to show you the moment in this game that completely blew my mind and made me realize why this is so goddamn broken. Basically, Chris Luck walks mid, he's got the Echo Saber, Storm Spirit walks up, he thinks, okay, well, clearly RP is on cooldown, he just killed me with it, so I'm totally fine here, totally safe. Presumably Storm Spirit clicks him and sees that he still has the Echo Saber, but Chris Luck is doing this on purpose. So what he does is once he walks up to the creep wave, he disassembles his Echo Saber into an Ogre Axe and an Oblivion Staff, and then he sets the Oblivion Staff to be able to combine. And then the courier comes, he combines it into an Orchid, he long-range Orchids the Storm, and all of a sudden, Tiny comes in, and a kill that was not so free is completely free. And this is the broken part about this Echo Saber into Orchid, is not only is it an efficient thing because you farm quickly with an Echo Saber, it's already stat efficient, you're going to get kills with an Echo Saber because of the slow, it also gives you the chance to just not go for an Orchid if you don't want one. Like, think about how people counter Orchid in Dota. You see somebody with an Oblivion Staff in their inventory, right? And then you build a Yule's, and then you build a Manta Style. Hey, Storm Spirit's going for an Orchid. I'm going to counter that. I'm going to have my Yule Scepter by the time he has the Orchid. How do you do that if somebody is just sitting on an Echo Saber? You cannot counter Orchid if you build Echo Saber first. And if you do counter Orchid, then what if the person just leaves it as a stat-efficient Echo Saber that eventually will build into a Silver Edge? This, to me, seems broken and probably needs to be fixed. The next item trick, or I should probably call it a trend more than a trick that I want to show you, is rushing a Glimmer Cape on a position 5 support, and maybe even position 4 support. So this is something that basically all pro-level pub players are currently doing. I don't know if this has trickled down to the other brackets, but I can guarantee you that if you are the first person to start doing this in your bracket, well, it's not going to be your bracket for very much longer because it is insanely good. So take a look at this team fight from Beast Coast once again. So we have Moose, who has a Shadow Amulet. They are losing the game right now. And Schofield gets gone on. I think they think that there's some Roche happening. They're incorrect, so Schofield is out of position. And then all of a sudden, he gets glimmered. And he is perfectly safe, perfectly free, sitting in the middle of the enemies. And they're using spells on him. He's got his Tranquil Boots going. They can't kill him. He's fine. And this is silly. It looks memey, right? And it looks like it's a joke. But the amount of times that I've seen this happen over the past few days on this patch is ridiculous. And you know why? Let's click to the enemy cores right now and see what they have. No slots available. Brewmaster, no slots available. Broodmother, no slots available. This simple invisibility item in the Shadow Amulet, I'm not even saying the full Glimmer Cape, I'm saying the Shadow Amulet. This thing gives you invincibility against enemy cores because cores currently do not have item slots for detection. They have too many small items. There are drums, there are medallions, there are Midases. People are building small items, and so Shadow Amulet is insanely broken. And with that being said, obviously it's worth mentioning that this thing is only 1,000 gold now, so even as a position 5, you can actually afford this item. 1,000 gold to have an item that has, you can cast it infinite times on yourself with no cooldown, and you can go invisible and have invincibility versus cores. And you can cast it on your allies without even having to turn on a 7-second cooldown. Like, if you take out of context the fact that this is a Shadow Amulet and take out of context all the stuff, just forget everything that you know about Dota, and you consider all of the items objectively, somebody who's new to Dota looks at this item and they say, how the fuck is this not broken? And the answer is, it is. It is broken. The next trick that I want to show you is something that's done by honestly who I consider to be the best offlaner on the planet and one of the biggest sex symbols out there, and that's Brax from Business Associates. So what he's doing is something that would probably get you reported in most MMR brackets. Hell, even in High Immortal, you might get reported if people haven't seen this before. But what he's doing is he is starting with Null Talisman and Tangos on heroes that aren't going mid. This looks like a mid item build. And then he goes for 2 Null Talismans, and he basically does this on heroes that are based around spamming things. He does this on heroes that would traditionally go for a Soul Ring or go for Mana Boots. And Enigma, of course, fits that bill. So the reason that he does this is because, of course, the new Null Talisman provides you spell amplification, which is fantastic, a little bit of mana regen, and then good stats. So this is kind of a more like stat-oriented version of what people were doing in the last patch, which was going for 2 Sage's Masks on similar heroes. This is the new that. In fact, I do want to say, I've even seen people go for Wraithband first on support Mirana. Right? That sounds like griefing. That sounds like somebody who wants to play core, but it seems like these stat items are so efficient in the early game that even pro players are basically going for these mid lane builds as offlaners, as, you know, supports. And so if you want to get ahead of the meta in your pubs, that's definitely something that you can do to get a little bit of efficiency out of a very easy decision. So I just want to show you that he is using other spells, and he does have a clarity just in case, but even just with the Null Talisman, he has a good amount of mana to keep spamming his Eidolons out on these creeps. And keep in mind, he's using other spells. So he does send out mangoes, and I think the reason that he sends out those mangoes is because once you're level 6 on Enigma, even if you were to go for a Soul Ring, even if you were to go for the Sage's Masks in the last patch, you would always not have enough full mana to cast your entire kit of stuff, like your Black Hole and your Stun. So often people just preempt that by sending out the mangoes. And okay, so now we have the completed build. After this point with the Null Talismans, he does not need any mana items. Like I said, he does go for them just in case he's spamming his other spells, but in terms of spamming his Eidolons, if he could be absolutely greedy, he would just get the Null Talismans because he doesn't need any more. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do have a quick update with regards to the pizza crust garbage bin hobo situation. One of them showed up to my house wearing one of those shirts that has a tuxedo on it. I definitely fell for it, thought he was a businessman. There was an insurance scam, and now I'm out a lot of money. So if you could like, comment, and subscribe, that genuinely really helps with the algorithm. And if you could comment something negative about garbage bin hobos, that would help even more with my just keeping the karma positive for me on my side. And I will also be linking in the description a link to a free class on ProGuides where I taught how to play an initiator, tank, axe, Slardar, heroes like that. Hour 55 minutes of free content, totally free. You don't have to sign up, but they would definitely appreciate that, which will help with the insurance situation that I'm in. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you in another video.